everybody. Ooh, I need to readjust. My mouth is like right on top of my name. Uh, how are you today? Whew. Wow, what a year, 2022. I'm going to give it probably a few seconds and maybe just ramble on a little bit just so a few people have an opportunity to hop on. Sometimes when I start immediately, then folks aren't able to kind of hear like the beginning of the stream. So just giving it a second. Um, Hopefully, everybody had a great holiday last week, whether or not you celebrate or not, maybe just enjoyed some time off. If you didn't, of course, just remember that you are loved, you are wonderful, everyone individually. I know it can sometimes be a little bit of a hard time of the year for some. Maybe you don't get to celebrate with the friends and family and things of that nature. Um, if that's the case, then I hope that 2023 is a wonderful year for you and that things do turn around. So this morning, probably a gloomy start. Definitely based on, of course, the news we had overnight. Of course, the passing of Barbara Walters and Pope Benedict, both in their 90s. So really, really sad. And it was definitely a gloomy start to the day here in the Charlotte area. Of course, you can see that. I'm going to start talking about the forecast now from the Dallas Tower Cam at about 1,500 feet up there from our Carolina Camera Network. It's very obvious to see kind of that layer of deck close to the ground, of course, of fog from that tower cam right now. Let's see if forecast one's super good. There we go. So current visibility right now across the Charlotte area definitely starting to get better. We were much, much higher in terms of what the fog was like just a few hours ago. So things are improving. We had a dense fog advisory actually that was canceled for places like Catawba County, Cleveland County areas that you can kind of still seeing some patchy fog. Then we randomly had one issued for just Richmond County. Things were kind of all over the place this morning. And that happens sometimes just because our 22 counties are covered by 4 different National Weather Service offices. But what I can tell you right now is that things are improving. In Stanley County there, Albemarle, we still do have some pretty dense fog there. Same for Richmond County, Rockingham, Wadesboro, you're improving, but still looks like eastern parts of Anson County are still pretty foggy. And of course, down toward Chesterfield County too. Then you kind of have that whole Cabarrus County, you look great. Rowan County, you look great. Mecklenburg County, you look great. Union, York, Lancaster, over toward Chester. Gaston County even looks pretty good, except for there is a little bit of patchy fog on the northwestern side of Gaston County. Lincoln County, Catawba County, Alexander, Iredell, still seeing some patchy fog there. Same for Cleveland. And then a tiny bit of fog there for Burke and Caldwell, but things definitely get better kind of the higher elevation you go. Since Ashwaubenon and Avery County, everything still looks pretty good right now. So visibility will improve, of course, throughout the morning, but I would still expect to see just kind of those cloudy conditions off and on. One of the reasons why, of course, is we have that warm, moist air coming in from the south and southeast. It's really pumping in our moisture. It's one of the reasons why we were so warm overnight. We only had a low temperature of 52 this morning. So the last day of 2022, very warm. In fact, 52 was our low. Our normal high this time of year is 53, if that tells you anything. You can see some spotty showers there right now, just some areas of light rain, patchy drizzle, Love Valley, there in Alexander County, Statesville, Hickory, Lincolnton. Again, this is really, really light, and this is not even really the main line that's coming in. That's going to be later on today. But today, patchy drizzle, light rain, cloudy, foggy, definitely a gloomy start until we get those better chances for storms closer to lunchtime. So, of course, that's a look at satellite and radar, what's currently going on. Let's look at that hour by hour forecast. What you will notice if you watched yesterday or maybe even our early morning newscast is I have shifted these times a little bit later. The front has been holding off a little bit later, so we're going to shift those times later too. So the best time still to see some of those showers and thunderstorms, I still think between about 12 and 4 o'clock, but we could even see some lingering rain in a few spots across the metro until about 5 and 6. Things should, though, completely clear out, I would say, by 8 p.m. at the very latest. And that's not just us here in the metro. That's the foothills, the mountains, the sandhills, things of that nature. We are still going to see a general thunderstorm risk. What this means is just your typical showers, thunderstorms. Nothing severe. Now, that doesn't mean that we couldn't see a few pockets of gusty winds as the front is moving through. So I would say if you're maybe hosting a New Year's Eve party, things like that, and you have some decorations outside, maybe hold off on putting them out, or just make sure that they're kind of, welded down, held down, things like that. Um, last weekend, of course, we had that issue with like the blow up Santas, things of that nature. So we don't want to have that problem this week, although the wind's definitely not as gusty. So just some general thunderstorms. Again, nothing severe here locally. Could see some strong storms though down toward the Charleston area. So just be aware of that for your thunderstorm outlook today. But let's talk hour by hour forecast because again, this has shifted a little bit later on. So as we approach about lunchtime, 12 o'clock, you'll see some of those showers and storms popping up. The areas that you see just straight green, and you can see that in this map, of course, toward Union Anson. That's kind of some of that light rain, that patchy drizzle being picked up, where you see the pockets of orange, yellow, and even red. Those are those pulses of heavier rain. These are expected to, of course, get a little bit heavier and more widespread as we get closer to 1, 2 o'clock. Now we'll progress, of course, closer to about 3 and 4. And you can kind of see, again, these are scattered in nature, but do become more widespread at times throughout the early afternoon. And then it looks like we kind of get that midday lull in moisture, I would say around 3 and 4 p.m., at least for the metro. And then here comes that kind of final line. You can see that developing here toward Greenville, Spartanburg. That's really the front coming in. So see how that line, that's going to produce your best chance for heavy rain and showers and storms. But look at that, pretty much 5 o'clock is right over Mecklenburg County. It does look to weaken by the time it gets here, so I don't expect it to be as strong as it will be even maybe near Cleveland County, by about 3 o'clock. But at least over the metro, it'll be closer to 5. Here we are at 6. You can still see it working its way through Union and Anson. And then by 7, 8, we are looking nice and dry. You'll love to see it. Although we are going to still see some clouds overnight and some areas of patchy fog. So just know that if you see no rain overnight, that doesn't necessarily mean that at least the threat overall is over. As again, we are going to see some areas of patchy fog. And this is pretty much round number 1 of showers and storms for this upcoming week. So it's today through the early afternoon. Our second round comes in Tuesday and into Wednesday. And this will be with a second and even stronger cold front as we enter the first week of 2023. So just to kind of wrap up here, and you can see your Argyle Roofing 7-day forecast. The day shaded in purple. Of course, today is New Year's Eve. Tomorrow's New Year's Day. So today is the last day of 2022. So foggy, cloudy, and a little bit rainy. Again, the best chance to see rain and storms early afternoon. Everyone is dry by about 7, 8 p.m. And then the only threat overnight into Sunday morning will be areas of patchy, locally dense fog, some sunshine in the afternoon with a high of 64. Probably the best day of the week looks to be about Monday with a high of 67. And then those rain and storms will arrive late Tuesday and until Wednesday. And there will be that threat for some storms as well, because we are kind of in that pattern where we have a lot of warmth, muggy air, and a lot of moisture overhead. Behind that front on Wednesday, we will get a bit cooler, a bit drier. You'll probably feel that as early as Thursday afternoon with a high only in the upper 50s. And then Friday, a little bit chilly, right? A low of 35 and a high of 50 under a mostly sunny sky. Maybe not chilly though, if you're thinking about where we were last weekend. So of course, to wrap up your New Year's weekend, definitely a far cry from last weekend where we were cold and dry, definitely warm and muggy for this time of year with those highs in the 60s. But I hope everyone has a happy, healthy, and safe New Year. And just know that if you are going to be driving late tonight, if not early tomorrow morning, at least weather-wise, I do want everyone to watch out for some patchy, locally dense fog. Any updates on the forecast throughout the day, you want to see how things have changed, you can always grab our WCNC Charlotte mobile app. We'll have hourly updates, of course, by a human forecaster. That's someone on the WCNC Charlotte weather team, as well as the ability to track the radar live along with us as we get those showers and storms throughout the day. Again, have a happy, safe, and healthy end of 2022, start to 2023. Sarah French and I will see you tomorrow morning starting at 7 on WCNC Charlotte. There's no 6 a.m. So we'll see you at 7 to 8 o'clock and then again from 9 to 10. Have a great day.